Good morning and welcome back to another episode of Around the Indoor Football World, where we cover all the major indoor football leagues like the IFL, the NAL, the AF1, the AAL, and the TAL, as well as all the minor leagues that develop those players that end up making their way to these leagues. But before we get into the topics today, of course, as always, we got to wake you up with a little bit of metal. All right, so the biggest news of today that we're going to discuss is, of course, the announcement that the Nebraska Siege is the name for the new TAL team. So I kind of just wanted to go around the horn here. We'll go to TJ first on this one. What are your thoughts on the branding for the Siege and just the overall feel of the name?
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. The logo's pretty cool. Of course, they, incorporated, what was it, a duck in it, which, uh, yeah, I mean, the logo's kind of cool, but, yeah, I mean, it's kind of okay to me. I feel like they probably should have, stuck with the parody, with some kind of a parody name with corn in it, but that's just me.
That's fair. That's fair. Cody, what about you, man? What do you think about the Nebraska Siege?
It's definitely not the danger, but it's fine. Excuse me. To correct TJ, I believe it's a sandhill crane is what it is. It's not a duck because you got the sandhills out in Nebraska. So going out there to central Nebraska and Grand Island, that's where they have all those with the Great Migration and stuff like that. If you look closely, one of the logos really resembles one of the San Diego Strike Force logos. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a little bit of hearsay about that. And then obviously you got the goggles that kind of look like the Iowa Barnstormers. So they kind of borrowed some elements when it came to some indoor football league teams, but I don't think enough to really cause any kind of fracas or anything like that. Overall, the logos are nice. We'll see how, the team does when the ball is actually snapped, because appearances are one thing, playing's another.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Krish, what are your thoughts on the branding for the team?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like Oceanside. They didn't go ahead and steal a logo from a website. So it's unique. It's a new, new feel. I love the TAL. I love the branding, and it connects the fans in a unique way, and it makes the league special. At this point, the TAL needs to realize what their identity is in the space, and I think this logo, it hits the nail perfectly. Cody hit it right on the head too. So.
Definitely. I like the logo. I'm a big fan of the TAL branding in general, how they kind of make it a little cartoonish, it's a little bit more or a little bit less serious, more minor league baseball-esque, you could say. So I really like how they do some of the logoing for the teams. And this kind of fits right in line with that. So I guess we are getting a couple more announcements coming up over the near future, obviously for the Louisiana Monroe team. And then the other, why I'm blanking the other location that they announced. Krish, do you remember the other location they announced that they haven't put a team at?
Memphis.
Thank you, Memphis. I don't know why I blanked that, but yeah, so they should have the announcements coming up soon. I believe the 30th is what I was told for the Monroe announcement. I'm not sure on a date on Memphis so far. Ricky says, yeah, tell him, Cody, get your birds right, TJ. Google the meaning of siege and the duck makes sense. Okay. I like the logo plus that double entendre, the word siege. Monroe will be 1:30 at a Moccasins game. That's cool. I like that idea. Good morning, says Roger Beck. So we'll move on to the next topic today, and this is going to be an AIF topic, which I found quite interesting. Is Richie Anderson has signed with the Odessa Drillers. So, Chris, you're shaking your head. I'll go to you first, man. What are your thoughts on this one?
I love Richie. That's one of my best interviews I ever did. Great guy, great family man. He lives in Odessa. He coaches there, but I mean, what are you doing, man? Like, I don't want to say have some like self-respect, but you played at the highest level. You played at the IFL level. You played in the AF1. Why are you playing the AIF? I know he has that relationship with Terry Foster and everything, but you're better off playing for the Warbirds, right? Jermaine Blakely, you played for him in Corpus. So why wouldn't you go back? That says a lot to me about Jermaine Blakely, like how his relationship is with his players. The fact that Richie lives right there in Odessa and he didn't go to the higher level team. That's crazy. So, I mean, I hope it works out, but Keith Russ is the owner, so they probably won't make it through the whole season. So that unfortunate for Richie. He's wasting a year of his career.
Strong words as per usual. I think they'll make it through the season. I mean, it's a independent schedule, so I would imagine it's primarily home games or whatever games they can find that work for them. So I think they'll make it through this year. So I don't necessarily know that he's wasting a year of his career, but I can definitely understand that your thought process on that for sure after the past couple iterations of teams that we've talked about. But Cody, what are your thoughts on Richie Anderson signing with Odessa?
It's just another journeyman player going to another team. I mean, it's just one of these guys where I don't know him personally, so I wish him the best. I'm not going to dog him or anything like that, but I don't know. It's kind of like what we talked about, last month or a few weeks ago with Todd Simmons, just another one of these guys going around. Is he collecting a bag? Is he trying to do whatever? I'm not going to speculate on it, but at the same time, you have to kind of sit there, like Krish mentioned, he's played at the IFL, he's played at the AIF. Like, is it just money based? Is it relationship based? What's going on here? Again, I won't speculate. It's just one of those things that kind of pricks your ears up going like, okay, this is definitely something to kind of monitor. So
definitely. I think the AIF's done a pretty good job of getting some solid talent in there this year. Richie being another one of those guys. TJ, what are your thoughts on this move?
It kind of surprised me as well. Again, a guy who's been in the IFL, who's been in the AF1/AFL reiteration, was with the Monsters in the TAL, but so it kind of surprised me that he would take in theory, a step down. But I mean, if it makes better sense for him, either scheduling wise, personal wise, or just location based, that's kind of the only thing that I could really think of because he's played with multiple teams in multiple leagues, so he's definitely not short on talent or having connections. I'll put it that way. So it must have been something involving relationships or the fact that he wanted to maybe play close to home.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Chris said, the relationship with Terry Foster, and on top of that, the location works for him pretty well. It sounds like Texas Pete. I don't believe there is a Southern schedule. I think Odessa is the only team in the AIF that's in the South, and they're playing an independent schedule in 2026. So I believe that is the only team in that or what was going to be the Southern Division. I think a couple other
And
teams.
can I also bring up something with Richie too? Like, it's not like he played bad last year. He had over 600 yards, 643 yards in 12 games with 8 touchdowns and 15 yards per catch. Like, he was a really consistent receiver for Corpus Christi, and you can say what they with their own line play and everything like that was super impressive to me. So I feel like this is a year where it could be a breakout season for you. So why wouldn't you take an opportunity at a higher level?
How old is Richie?
I want to say he's 29.
He is kind of getting up there in terms of age. I mean, maybe he just wants to be close to home. I don't know his personal life, so I don't know if he's got kids or something, but that will sway a lot of your decision making. But
Because he's going into what is like 6th or 7th season.
Got to be something like that. I mean, he's played for
right around 30 probably.
Yeah, Roger got the Columbus Lions shirt on today. Yeah, the Southern Division fell apart quick. Brian checking in. Thanks for joining us, Brian. Appreciate it. Also, Brian, thank you for keeping me up to date on all the TAL changes on the announcements. I really appreciate that last night. Always appreciate when people reach out and make sure I've caught some information so we can talk about it on the show. Gotta love the people who are dedicated. So we're going to move over to the International Arena League. And this was some information that I found very interesting. They have hired Sean King as the head coach for the Cincinnati Slingers. Obviously, Sean King was most recently the head coach for the Rapid City Marshals in 2024 before they folded. He has also assisted, I believe he assisted Salina after that, if I remember correctly. And then he was the interim head coach for the Billings Outlaws the year prior before Cedric Walker took over. So he has been hired. I've heard some interesting rumors going on about this league. Some of the coaches were a little bit hesitant to touch it, given that it's a new league. So they were able to basically guarantee and pay some of these coaches a couple months of their pay up front to try and basically make it a little bit more feasible for them to make work. So you hear something like that and maybe gives me a little bit more faith in what this league is doing. And hopefully they're able to make it work for the sake of all the players and coaches that have signed on. But what are you guys' thoughts? I mean, Sean King, fairly big name. That kind of tips the scales a little bit, in my opinion. Let's go to TJ first on this one.
I mean, in my opinion, it almost gives this league credibility just because, if a guy like him is going to sign and trust this league, I mean, you're talking about a guy who he's been around and in this game for so long. He has a coaching resume from the AF2, so that shows his longevity and how good he's been in the sport as well. So this is great for him. I'm happy for him, and it also, like you said, kind of solidifies the mentality that maybe this league isn't so kind of crazier out there. Maybe they do have something going on, and maybe they will be successful this season. So I'm definitely it's definitely put the league on my radar just by having Sean King sign with Cincinnati.
Absolutely. And Brian, to be clear, Sean, it's Shon. He was a very, very, very good receiver for Quad Cities for many years before he retired and started coaching. I think I want to say he had like a 2,000-yard season, if I remember correctly. At one point, he was very, very good when he played, and played with the AFL for a couple of years as well. And then, like I said, he retired and went into coaching. He was the offensive coordinator for the Billings Outlaws, and then they let go of Kerry Laughlin. He stepped in as the head coach, and then after that was hired by Rapid City. And then, like I said, he bounced around. He was with Salina for a minute, and now he's apparently going to the Cincinnati Slingers. Cody, what are your thoughts on this move?
I mean, the move is fine. Excuse me, to, like TJ said, bring credibility to the league. It's just the league as a whole is just a big kind of red flag. Like it's giving me AFL 3.0 vibes, where it's like, until the ball is kicked, until anything is settled, we just don't know. You can sign as many coaches, as many players and stuff like that, but until the ball is kicked, until you complete a season, I'm just going to hold my breath on this one. But to answer the question, I think the signing's fine. You got a guy who kind of knows what he's doing, and if that works out for Cincinnati, then great. I mean, we know he's got experience with it, but we'll see.
Definitely agree on that. Krish, thoughts?
I mean, look, we're in a coaching landscape, right? At this point, every job in the four major leagues have been filled, right? So I think like any coach will take any job. You know what I mean? Like they're not like, a lot of coaches won't do their due diligence on the league to see if it's legit. Sean King got a call and he's like, all right, it's a head coaching job. Let me take it. I doubt he did his background research, because I would hope he learned a lesson from Rapid City, but clearly probably not, right? So he probably didn't do his research. He probably just took the job. This doesn't add legitimacy to the league at all, in my opinion. I see where TJ is coming from, because I follow the International Arena League. I watch every live stream. They haven't given me a reason to believe the league is legit at all. At all. So I hope it's successful. I hope it's everything. But I mean, when you give me a league with Mook Zimmerman as a head coach, I already have my doubts up front anyway. So
It's funny you say that, Krish, because I remember looking back through our group messages just a couple days ago, and at one point you were really excited about Mook Zimmerman being a coach for one of the teams you were following. I would like to say it was Massachusetts, but I don't recall exactly which team he was with, so I thought it was kind of funny.
What we don't talk about Mook, man. Let's just say he was a volunteer. Volunteer.
Well, and this is exactly what Mike Davis is saying. Come on, guys. Coaches without jobs will jump, especially if you give them a little money up front. That alone gives red flags. But like I said, I mean, I was told it could be as much as 3 months of pay up front. And if that's the case, you've already collected half your season's salary. So, yeah, why wouldn't you take that opportunity? I mean, I would. Somebody's going to front me 3 months of my salary, and yeah, I'd probably be considering that job offer. So, I mean, it gives you a little bit more faith from a coaching perspective. Now, has he collected that money yet? I don't know. So, well, it'll be interesting. So why
And it's
10 press conferences in one day for the IAL? And
that was crazy. I saw that. And one thing I find funny is, like, and I want to clarify, like, when I say that about Mook, it's not me attacking his character as a person. He's a great guy. But the fact that he was the coach of the Iowa Woo in the 7-man league, flag football league, and they went 2-7, like, that's kind of crazy to me that he's being offered a job in quote unquote the biggest market in America. Right. So you see what I'm saying? I think you see my point. It's very it's premature and relationship based. So that's why I don't really believe in the league, because it's so the landscape and the idea of the league, it's so far out there that it won't work. It won't. I no.
I suppose we'll see. What's got me concerned is, and giving me the AFL 3.0 vibes, as Cody put it, is the $1,000 per game number. As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh Lord, here we go again. And just like immediately was a little concerned. Now, like I said, when I hear that coaches are potentially being offered a few months of their salary up front, like if you have that capital to make that happen, that gives me a little bit more faith in the league being able to make some games happen. Now, I don't know what the season's ultimately going to look like. I still have my doubts. Travel in this league is insane. So it's one of those things, and I mean, I would probably never flat out ask a coach if they had been paid. That's not really my question, my business to be asking. But, I would wonder if, like Chris said, if Sean King has learned from his past experiences and did the background background research, and then, saw some things that we didn't, and maybe has a little bit more faith in the league, and that's why he's signing this contract.
And like I said, for me, and this is gonna sound really, really, really bad, so just maybe cover your ears. But for my team and my coach, it's like, shut the fuck up and win me games, and then you'll get your money. Like, that's how I look at it, right? No coach should be paid before the season. That's not how it works. You win me games, and then you get your money. That's how it should be.
Well, I have some qualms about that. Different teams operate different ways. Plus, coaches do a lot of work in the off season leading up to the season in order to get there, right? So I feel they deserve something for that time and effort they put in during the off season as well. But like you said, every organization and league is different in terms of how they offer and handle the
Krish isn't used to having a head coach for more than like 6 months at a clip, so he's not used to smoozing them.
Good point. They're gone so fast you don't even have to pay them, right? So moving on to the next topic at hand. Well, actually, this seems like a good time for us to hit a quick commercial break. We'll be right back after a word from our trusty sponsors, including the Omaha.
Yo, what's good? Cedric the bus driver here. I don't know about you guys, but I know what I will be doing every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Thursday nights too. I'll be over at Shady Sports Network, so catch up with me. Holla at your boy.
How many times a week?
Like three or four times, maybe.
I'm gonna pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
All right. Now that we've got a couple, inflammatory comments out of Krish already, we need to get prepared because here soon we'll be jumping into the IFL segment. Couple things that I wanted to talk about with the IFL, and I think the big news that have kind of come out recently is the news about all the MLB teams backing out of their contracts with the FanDuel. So I wanted to kind of unpack that, see what your guys' concerns are about that situation, see how much you think it might affect the league in 2026, and if the FanDuel partnership ultimately even goes through. Cody, you're kind of the IFL expert, so to speak, here. So I'm curious of your opinion on this situation and how you think it'll affect the league.
I'm not an expert. Quit it. But I mean, excuse me, God goodness. Reading about it, and we have not heard anything from the Indoor Football League, which really, really perks the ears up. Now, something might come out in the next coming weeks or so, but to catch anyone up that doesn't know about it, pretty much what's going on is FanDuel Sports Network and I believe 8 or 9 Major League Baseball teams, NBA teams, and the regional sports networks throughout the country, they are missing payments. The FanDuel Sports Network missed a payment to the St. Louis Cardinals last month. They've been either missing payments or being late on payments when it comes to these teams, to the point where Major League Baseball has come out and said, hey, if you can't make payments, we are going to put all of these teams on MLB Network, and pretty much FanDuel Sports Network is kaput when it comes to MLB. I'm not so sure on the NBA side because they do all that too. When it comes to like FanDuel Midwest, FanDuel North, FanDuel West, and stuff like that. So you've got a lot of Indoor Football League markets that kind of go into this. Now, the thing that we need clarification from with the Indoor Football League and from FanDuel is in the press release when they announced the FanDuel partnership, they said with FanDuel Sports Network. Well, there's two different variations of this. You have the FanDuel Sports Network, which are the regional sports networks that you have on cable TV. And then you have the free streamer that is on FanDuel, where you can watch still your TV shows like Bussin' with the Boys and Up and Adams and stuff like that on FanDuel's actual website. So that's not their regional sports network. So I'm curious to see how that goes if they put the game still on FanDuel, because you can stream live games on FanDuel and still bet while you're watching the games. I've done it. I know I've sent screenshots to our group chat about it. So it can still be done. I don't think that deal is donezo, but at the same time, if you wanted these games on cable, on these regional sports channels, you might not get that. So what needs to be figured out here is, if this deal falls through, do you take that half of the games and put them on the Indoor Football League network, which is still around? It's not done. It's not gone. Do you put that half on there? What happens? Or if the contracts are already signed, then that's money probably owed. And if FanDuel goes under, then the Indoor Football League might have a good lawsuit on their hands to try and get some money from I can't remember the major name of the group. I had it the other day, but it escapes me because I keep thinking Diamond Sports and Entertainment, but that was all the way back with like Bally and Fox Sports Network and all that. So it's a huge kerfuffle, man. It's a big thing going on right now that the Indoor Football League is silent on. We want to hear something, but I also understand the silence of we don't want to put anything out for fear of we're jumping the gun here if FanDuel goes under, if they don't go under. So I think they're just minding their P's and Q's until something happens.
Absolutely. And I apologize to do this to everybody who's watching. I had our guest scheduled backwards, so our NAL guest is actually joining us right now. So we're going to put a pin in this discussion. We'll come back to it after we bring on our NAL guest and discuss some of the content involving the IFL and the NAL. So I apologize about that slight mix-up. I was thinking our IFL guest was on next. I apologize to everybody watching. So without further ado, our first guest for the morning is Reggie Patrick with the Omaha Beef. Reggie, how you doing this morning?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What's up, guys?
Doing great. Thank you so much for joining us. Krish, I know you arranged this one, so I'll let you kick off the questions today.
What's good, my boy? Good to see you.
Lil K, what it do?
What it do, man? Good to see you. So, my first question for you is kind of, you look at the team this season, kind of the offense with Tommy not being there. How excited are you about the new quarterback room for the Beef this season?
Oh, well, see, man, I'm an offensive lineman through and through. I don't care who back there. Like, I know I got a job to do, and so I'm pretty excited. I'm always excited, man. I don't care who back there slinging that thing. Long as I know I'm gonna be blocking for them, so they're gonna be good regardless. But I'm pretty excited about Demery. See what he's. I've never played with him, but I got a lot of teammates that have played with him, so they say he good. They say he all right. He good with me.
There you go. Cody, you're a big Quad City fan. You got to watch
Kristen left,
Demery.
huh?
What's that? What was that? Cody, you're a big Quad City fan. What are your thoughts on Demery?
Yeah, I can't hear y'all.
Oh, okay. Let's see if we can get this fixed. Give me just a moment.
Into the end zone, touchdown! Russell has to step up in the pocket, has some room in front of him, gets that three-step drop, hits up the pressure, passes complete to Flowers, back to pass, pressure coming, has somebody in the end zone, touchdown! Russell, pressure's coming, Russell able to escape, still on his feet, and will be brought down at the looking, has plenty of time, has Flores at the 15, he's at the 10, and Russell has it on the outside. Like I said, he ain't taking a slide. Russell steps up, let's go. Robinson makes the circus catch. Going to be a low snap, here comes the pressure, and the pass is going to be complete. And making the catch of Grant Russell. Russell, back to pass, looking, he has Robinson makes the catch, and will be brought down on the play by Isaiah Hall.
All right, Reggie, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Perfect.
All right, bet.
So, Cody, I was going to you next with the questions here. You've watched a lot of Demery Croft fairly recently. Do you have any comments on his play last season for Reggie here, and any questions for him?
I mean, it's been a limited quantity from last season when he was the backup to DeQuan Neal at Quad City. He's been a little bit over in the indoor football league with San Diego and Duke City and what have you. But if you're saying that it doesn't matter who's back there, my question to you is, if it doesn't matter who's back there, does it matter? And again, this is not a shot at Demery Croft whatsoever. Please don't take any offense or anything. But like, if it doesn't matter who's back there, protecting your quarterback is the number one key. If you're not getting to him, or if the defense is getting to him, then what can he do in order for you to make your job a little bit easier? Is it taking off and running? Is it just getting the reads out quicker? Anything like that. Again, that's not a shot at Croft or anything like that. I'm not saying he's bad or he can't read the defense or anything. I'm just saying, in your opinion, as the offensive lineman, what can he do to make your job easier?
Well, for me, I've been in this league. I've been playing arena football for a minute. And for me, if you got a quarterback that can run, you're good. So if he don't see nothing, I hope he knows that, like, just take off. Like, because most of the time, everybody's going with the routes and there's nobody right there. So if you don't see anything, I'm hoping he has a good mind to, like, just take off.
Which is good.
So that would make my job a little easier.
Yeah.
But it don't. I don't know. I like playing O-line, so it don't really matter to me. Ain't nobody gonna touch him. So
No, that's fair. Like I said, I know he's got wheels. I know he can run. I know he can throw. So like I said, it just kind of like, hey, you're not, your goal obviously is to be the defender every single time, but there are opportunities where the defense does win. So
yeah, facts. Yeah. Yeah, so I just hope he has a good mind, which I've been talking to him. So we've been talking this all season. So and I could tell his mind is where it needs to be. So I'm pretty sure he's going to take off if need be. So hopefully he, you know.
I mean, hopefully your guys' offensive coordinator is doing a damn good job. If I do, so I'm just kidding. I know he's watching. I know he's watching.
Yeah, he for sure watching.
TJ's in the comments, of course. So TJ, you're a resident Beef fan. Do you have any questions for Reggie?
Absolutely. With how last season went, obviously still getting to a championship and everything else, but just all the changes that were made early in the season, going into this season, how much better does it feel just knowing that everything's all set in stone and now you're just ready to kind of hit the ground running with everything
Oh
in
man,
the right
we got like 45 days, and I literally been counting down since we had to hand that trophy over. So like for me, I know all I got to do is play ball. So and I'm coming with a vengeance. So if anybody watching this, we coming with a vengeance. So I'm not. I ain't. You know what? I'm not even gonna talk no trash. I said I wasn't gonna talk no trash when I got on here. Listen, we're ready. We're ready. Everything set how it need to be. We just waiting on camp to start. That's all I'm saying. We're waiting on camp to start. So I had some comments I was just about to say. I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave everything where it's at. And March 7th, everybody will know how we're coming for the season.
There you go. Love
Yes.
it. Reggie, obviously you're one of the longest tenured Beef players at this point. You've been there for years. What keeps you coming back to Omaha?
Man, the fans, for sure. It's like I'm from the South, and I'm all about Southern hospitality. And when here at the Beef, they treat you like you're part of their family. Like you get invited to people's houses for dinner. You need anything, let me. Oh, I got this person who knows this company. If you need a job, let me know. That's how it is here. For me, that's what keeps me coming back. Like, so it's all family here. Like everything about the Beef is family. So that's why I keep coming back. I love it here.
Atmosphere goes a long way, and it definitely seems like a lot of those guys, a lot of core players for the Beef always seem to keep coming back. Concliffe, Barton, yourself, Trey Dudley Giles, a bunch of guys are constantly there year in, year out. So obviously something's being done right there in Nebraska. So
Yeah, for sure. It's a tight. It's a good. I haven't played for many other organizations, honestly, but I wouldn't want to because I don't like we win here. Everything we need is here. I don't have to play for anybody else. So long as I'm kicking and able to play, I'm Beef for life for sure.
There you go. Love it. Cody, do you have anything else for Reggie?
I mean, just your simple boilerplate question: is it championship or bust every single season, or what are your expectations this year?
Yeah, I can't hear him if he asks him a question.
Can you hear me now? Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Cody.
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear both Sam and TJ.
Can you hear any of us, Reggie?
Yeah, I can hear y'all. I just can't hear Cody.
Oh, weird.
Cody, you want to pop out and pop back in? TJ, do you have a question for Reggie?
Yeah, having played arena
I can't
football
hear
for a
him
while,
either.
like you just. Oh, okay.
All right, Reggie, we might have to have you pop back out and come back in if you don't mind. I apologize.
Yeah, let me. That's...
All right, Cody. Well, apparently it wasn't you because right when TJ tried to ask a question, he also had issues.
Oh, fair enough.
Thank you for playing the game, though.
Reggie?
Yeah, I'm back. I can hear y'all now. I can hear y'all now.
All right.
I gotta get a laptop, man.
It's all good. It's all good. Stuff happens. Sometimes weird stuff happens with StreamYard when we're live. Krish is back too. So, Cody, if you want to go ahead with your question.
Oh, I was just going to say it's kind of a boilerplate question. You'd sit there. It's championship or bust every single season, right?
Facts.
Right. What if it's not a championship? Do you deem it a failure?
Honestly, yes, I do. Cause that's the only goal. Like, is a championship. Nothing else. June 23rd. That's where we want to be at, on that podium, getting that trophy. That's all. And honestly, that's all I know. so I mean, what else is there to? Yes, we're playing. Yes, we playing for each other, but we playing for that trophy, man. That's all that matters. Like, championship or bust every year. That's what we say.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like the mentality. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. Krish, do you have any questions?
Yeah, who would you say the best D lineman you've gone against in the NAL?
Oh, Claude for sure. Claude Davis. Claude Davis. It's a lot of good. Claude Davis and Jeff Luck. Those are probably my favorite two I've won against. I'm not gonna say they're probably the best two I played against. Yeah.
I'm a little
Claude
surprised you
Davis
didn't name
for
a
sure.
teammate, but it's okay. We'll give you a pass on that. No, I'm just kidding. TJ, do you have any questions for Reggie?
Yeah, speaking to some of the younger guys watching our show right now, having been a vet now for a long time, what are, or I should say the importance of what it's like to have a team with great culture and great, amenities, as opposed to some of these other teams that you hear that kind of lack in those categories.
Well, for me, and when you have a great culture and when you have great, like when you say amenities, you mean like the weights, the food, the stuff like that, right?
Like
So yeah,
off-season help opportunities, things like that.
when you got stuff like that, that means you could come in and you can focus literally straight on football. When you can focus straight on football, you have a better mind. Like you ain't worrying about what we gonna eat, or are we gonna be able to stay at the hotel, for the whole season, or how we gonna get to practice, how we gonna get to the games. When you don't gotta worry about stuff like that in the arena game, it's like all you gotta do is play football. Once that happens, like that's why I feel like we're so good here, because all we worry about is football. And that's the only thing you need to worry about when the season's in is football. So for me, when you got good culture, good amenities, like the ceiling is very high for you.
I wanted to ask you kind of an odd question. I'm not sure this is necessarily something that you've put a lot of thought into, but the NAL recently announced their partnership with Southern New Hampshire University. Is that something that players are talking about at all? Have you guys had
Facts,
discussions
for
about
sure, for sure. That's because it's some guys that want to finish their degree. So yes, that's a very. I'm glad they got that, because I know a few guys that are trying to finish their degree so they can get better jobs, better coaching jobs. So yeah, that's pretty big for me. I already have a degree. I don't want to go back to school.
That's fair. I wasn't sure how much that really, like affected a player's mindset, because, obviously a lot of you guys are, like you said, have already had your degrees and stuff, but I guess I didn't really consider the guys that, left college early or maybe didn't finish their degrees. So, yeah, makes sense. I appreciate you answering that. Cody, any other questions?
As a veteran of this game, what is your role as like a mentor, kind of a, dare I say, coach, in a sense of teaching the younger guys how to play the game, or trying to be that recruiter to get new talent in? Because obviously it's not a draft. There's no draft in indoor arena football or anything. So what is your role when it comes to bringing in new guys, when it comes to teaching them the ways of the indoor and arena games and everything like that?
Well, first for me, I just try to get them to like trust trust the because it's arena ball. Like you don't. Let's be real. You don't know what's going to happen. Some places you're at, you don't know if it's going to last or if it's we might play 2 games and then because we've seen that years after year. We've seen a team come out. Oh, they play 2 games, then they're done. So like it's just getting like the younger people to trust or the rookies to trust you or trust the coach, trust the organization. So I just, make sure they're able to trust. And here, that's one thing you know what you're gonna get here. Like so when they come here, I just like look, make sure all your orders in the fair before you get here. So all you could do is think about football. So for me, it's just trust. A lot of people want to be able to trust the owner, trust the coach,
Yeah.
trust the organization, trust the older guys.
Right.
So for me, that's what I make sure they trust us.
Yeah, I mean that's something that like anytime we've had an Omaha Beef player on, or even just in the last 5, 10, 15 plus years, where it's like I've heard nothing but good things when it comes to Omaha and the way that they treat their players, their coaches, and the community as a whole. So what you guys are doing up there is nothing short of spectacular.
Thank you. Well, it ain't. I just play. It ain't.
Oh,
I don't handle no logistics. That's all Ricky. That's all Ricky in the front office.
It's a whole team effort. It's a whole team effort, and you're part of that team. So.
Absolutely. And Ricky even said in the chat, he literally said, "Thank you. We appreciate you having you representing the team in the community." So you obviously play a part there too. So, credit
I live here. I coach. I train a lot of kids, and I've been living here for a long time now. I have a kid here myself. So
yeah, see, all that plays a factor. I mean, whether it's directly related to the beef or not, you're making an impact on the community as well. So we have a question in the chat for you. Last season, when you guys played the Beaumont Renegades in the championship, they obviously ended up defeating you guys. Probably, honestly, one of the larger surprises last year, right? It seems like the Beef have kind of just run whatever league they've been in over the past couple of years. But he wants to know, like, where do you feel that you guys went wrong in your pregame evaluation of Beaumont? Like, where were they able to beat you in that game?
Well, honestly, I don't. We didn't go. For me, I feel like I could have. I don't know. I haven't even thought about that. Like, that's a great question. Like, well, I don't feel like we went wrong anywhere. Honestly, they were just the better team that day. I felt like we did. I felt like we did everything right. But you know how some days some people just are better than you. Like that day. Like so. That day, they were the better team.
I feel like that's a fair analysis. Beaumont was very talented last year, so I don't think that's any disgrace on Omaha either. They're a really good team last year.
They were good. It was no. I have nothing to say bad about them. They were good. We want the better team that day.
Fair enough. TJ, do you have any more questions?
Yeah, I do have one more. Again, being a veteran and stuff, you've kind of seen a lot of things, been around for a little while in the arena and indoor circuit. So, with the way the NAL is progressing and the strides they're starting to make, do you see them starting to, learn from previous mistakes and become gain a more solid foundation to the league in recent years?
Yes, and honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. Honestly, like I said, I just play ball, man. I don't be worried about because let's just say I've been a little spoiled being here with winning and having everything together. And so I just feel like I don't even be worried about that because I know that the Beef has their stuff together. So, just something I've never worried about, honestly.
Yeah, fair
But
enough.
yes, the competition it gets better and better every year. And I just see the NAL just keep progressing. It's just gonna keep progressing.
Absolutely. So 44 days to go, Coach Negron says.
Facts.
We want to, first of all, thank you for your time this morning, Reggie. We
No
really
problem.
appreciate having you on. Always love talking to you. You're a great guy. And, man, I think this is probably the third or fourth time we've had you on the network at some point or another. So do you have any words for the Beef fans or anybody back home that you want to shout out?
Just for all the fans, just thank you for supporting us, always being there for us. And March 7th, the journey begins. So if anybody watching this, March 7th, I'm telling you right now, is the journey begins. So if you ain't rolling with us and you ain't on this train, you're getting rolled over.
Love it. Love it. Well, Reggie, thank you so much for your time today. We really
Appreciate y'all.
it. Have a great rest of your Saturday, and
y'all
we
too.
look forward to seeing your season this year.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Appreciate it,
Best
bud.
of luck. All right. Once again, that was Reggie Patrick, offensive lineman for the Omaha Beef. Been around there for multiple years, and definitely one of the class acts of indoor football, in my opinion.
Can I bring up a point real quick?
Yeah.
And this is gonna make some Omaha Beef people maybe a little whatever, but something really insightful. That Cody was asking Reggie, about the quarterback, right? And I've had my opinion on Democrat, I whatever, but my thing is there's such a high standard in Omaha. Like, I truly believe he has 4 games before the bye week to prove that he is the starting quarterback of the Beef. I really believe that because the standard is so high there in Omaha that if he doesn't perform before the bye week, he won't be the quarterback by week 5. That's my opinion, and I think you all agree with me too. I do.
I mean, I would think that's par for the course. Like you said, the standard is high in Omaha. So of course, if they're losing games and Demery's not playing his part, yeah, I would imagine that there's a good chance that he does get put on the bench. But the thing is, they have the faith in him to go out there and perform through those first 4 games. So I don't think they're as concerned as maybe you might be, Krish.
I'm not concerned. I'm just saying, like, I'm saying, like, if they start 3-1 per se, like, if they split with Southwest and Salina, it's $1 million. Like, they should be feeling real good if they start 3-1. Like, they should be feeling amazing, Super Bowl type if they start 3-1.
It all depends on how they look and how they perform. Because you saw last year they flipped the switch when they weren't looking good. But if they lose a good game, but they're performing well otherwise, they're not going to pull the plug during the bye week.
Look, the standard is the standard. If Croft can't get it done, Dylan Raiola is in the transfer portal. You just take him from Lincoln over to Omaha, and there's your quarterback.
There you go. There you go.
Perfect.
You just sign him to a no money deal. He keeps his college eligibility. It's a win-win for everybody, right? Go ahead, Omaha.
Then he can go to Oregon in the fall, and there you go. So, I mean, we've got it figured out.
Yeah, perfect. That was great. That was awesome. Well, given that we just had a Beef player on, this feels like a pretty good time to take a commercial break, and then we'll come back, discuss the couple topics we got on the NAL, and we should have an IFL guest joining us fairly shortly.
How many times a week?
Like three or four times maybe.
I gotta pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
All right, we're back to talk about a couple subjects in the NAL, and we should have our IFL guest joining us any minute. So to get back to the NAL, couple signings that have come out over the past couple days. In fact, some pretty big news. Lorenzo Brown is back in the NAL. He has signed a contract with the Sioux City Bandits. Sioux City has a very interesting quarterback room, which I wanted to take some time on. And I'll pull up this handy dandy graphic I made earlier. But with the signing of Lorenzo Brown, they now have Verlon Reed and Ed Crouch, as well as, again, Lorenzo Brown. So let's kind of unpack this, guys. I mean, who do you think ends up starting for the Sioux City Bandits in 2026? Let's go to Cody first on this one.
I mean, you just got to hope that quarterback room is wheelchair accessible with the amount of old guys they're bringing in. I'm kidding. This is going to be one hell of a quarterback competition. You've already seen you know what Verlon Reed's been able to do. You know what Ed Crouch has been able to do. And obviously the pedigree and everything that Lorenzo Brown has done, either in the IFL, with Omaha, whatever the case could be. So, personal opinion, if, gun to head, whatever, Ed Crouch, odd man out if you're only carrying 2 quarterbacks. I don't see how I'm sorry. I just don't see how Lorenzo Brown, with what he's been able to do, how he doesn't kind of just start. I mean, Verlon Reed has an opportunity, but I don't know. And again, now we're getting to the point where it's just like age, injuries, things like that, which they've both been pretty healthy, but I don't know. It's just, we'll see. They're definitely not taking hey, let's get a second stringer rookie to kind of learn the ropes or anything. They're pretty much saying, we want to win. We want to win now. We're getting these veterans, and they kind of know what they're doing.
Definitely would agree on that front. TJ, what are your thoughts on this quarterback room they've got going on?
I think you kind of have to give the nod to Lorenzo Brown at the start of the season. You know what I mean? He's the veteran guy. He's been on teams like Arizona and everything else. So I think he is the front runner, but I think I'm with Cody. I think Crouch is probably the odd man out in the trio. But I would say if I was there, I'm seeing Lorenzo Brown probably start week 1.
Krish, I'm curious to hear what you would do with this quarterback room if you were Irv Strobing.
I couldn't agree with Cody and TJ more. Lorenzo Brown, man, that's the best option. I mean, we've seen. I love Verlon Reed as a person. I think he's a great person, great individual. But Verlon's one of those guys, man. He's like the guy you see at the pick a basketball game. He just pulls up and plays. Like all that extra. I don't think he really has that lion mentality. Like, I want to win now type deal. It's kind of like, all right, I'm just playing to play. He's going through the motions. Ed Crouch is kind of the same way, right? Like, he's a baller. He can play. He can make plays, but is he going to show up out of shape? What shape is he going to be in? How is he going to play? Lorenzo Brown, we know, even if Lorenzo is out of shape, he will quickly get back in shape. He is older. He's 38 years old. We understand that, but what he did last year, he was hurt all season with Omaha, and he still had 19 total touchdowns in 7 games, only 4 turnovers. He played really good with Omaha, really, really good, like really quality football. And it's because they had Tommy. Tommy was the only quarterback that was going to replace Lorenzo in Omaha, only. And I really think they should have brought Lorenzo back this year. I really do. I really think he played well enough to be brought back. But, situation with Jordan Barton, everything like that. So he's coming to Sioux City. This is his final ride. And if it is, it's championship or bust. It's for the coaching staff, too. If you think about it, this is our. I really believe this is, no matter what happens, it's Loban, Jensen, and Coach Irv's last year. Like, I truly believe that. And so they want to go out and they want to put all the cards on the table and try to win. And also, Carlos Thompson played with Lorenzo Brown in Sioux Falls. So this is something to note.
Good point. That previous chemistry with Sioux Falls, definitely a factor in that signing, I imagine. I did want to point out the fact that I don't necessarily know that all of the coaches that you just mentioned that would leave. I've heard on several occasions and from Irv Strobing himself that if he leaves, he's going to do everything in his power to make sure Loban takes over for him and is the head coach going forward. So I could see a situation where Strobing steps away. I could see a situation where the coaching staff does make some changes. But I could also see a situation where Loban moves up the ladder and he's all of a sudden the next head coach, which, by the way, very deservedly so, been there for years, been a huge part of what Sioux City's been able to do. But you know, Irv Strobing came on here and talked about how he evaluates his career at this point. He's achieved a lot. He's done a lot. So, you know, he's not necessarily chasing records or anything at this point. He's just coaching until he doesn't feel like he has the desire to do it anymore. And at some point, you know, you have to imagine that time will come, but I don't know that it's necessarily going to come right away. And I don't know that Sioux City is going to move on from this staff anytime soon, personally. But, you know, I could be wrong. But a couple other topics. We have a couple other transaction news. Jamel Wynn, previously with the Billings Outlaws, nose tackle, massive dude, signs with Southwest Kansas, and they also signed defensive back Timothy Shannon. Krish, what are your thoughts on these moves?
I mean, what can I say, man? That's a big move. Coach Thomas has a nose tackle that he's been looking for, and you know, you pair him with Josiah Silver, you got something special on that D-line in Southwest. Honestly, you got a D-line that I think not a lot of teams are going to be able to run on. Against the pass, it's yet to be determined, but against the run, no. So I think this is a big move. I'm really happy with what Southwest is trying to build on defense. They still don't have a linebacker, and they still need a running back. But other than that, they're coming along. And linemen, offensive linemen. They don't have a good online.
You weren't a big fan of the Jairus Burnett signing, or Jarius?
I mean, it's very difficult for me to take a player that played in the flag football league and wasn't, you know, a top player in that league and expect them to perform at a high level in the National Arena League. That's just the reality. So,
I mean, he signed with Quad City too, so obviously there's something.
He got cut in camp. He didn't make it through. So
no, he was signed for 2026.
Oh yeah, but I mean. Yeah, but still, it's like it's still relative in the sense of he still has to prove it, right? Like this is a high level of football, and so especially if you don't have an O line, right? You don't have an O line, so that offensive line is looking real rough. I don't know. It's Coach Thomas going out. Why was Coach Thomas not in Naples? Why was Coach Thomas not in Detroit for Coach Davis's workout? He should have been there looking for offensive linemen. That's the question I have. But
well, I mean, I know he's got some other things on his plate. You know, if you maybe remember last off season, or he was named county commissioner. We talked about it on the show. So he's got a couple other things going on out there in Dodge City. But one other thing that I wanted to talk about today, we won't spend a ton of time on the moves with Southwest Kansas, but the Far Phantoms, our buddy, you know, Daniel Villapando will be playing against Louisiana Rougarou for their preseason game right at the beginning of the NAL season. Super excited to see that. There really isn't much to talk about. Honestly, just wanted to shout out Daniel on the show, you know, and his brother who run that team, the Far Phantoms. They are doing everything in their power to not only to make this a lot more frequent in the future. You know, whether that's them moving up to the NAL or just playing a lot more professional level games. So excited for Daniel there and the Far Phantoms. Looking forward to that game because I think it's going to be a good one. They might be a little bit more competitive than most preseason games. So I think it should be fun to watch here coming up.
It's Louisiana. Come on, man. Like, it's going to be competitive. So
that's kind of my point, though. Like, I'm not going to sit here and bash Louisiana. You know, we've talked about what their I believe their plan is this year. But at the same time, I think Far Phantoms are a pretty talented team for a developmental team. So I think it's going to be a good game. It'll be a good game for a preseason game anyway. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and welcome on our IFL guest, a man I'm sure Krish is very excited to see already. So without further ado, here is our IFL guest, Mr. Toby Johnson. Mr. Coach Johnson, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. What about yourself?
Doing great. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're thrilled to have you. So I gotta ask. Let's open up the questions with Orlando. I mean, what do you think about the move to Orlando?
I think it's a great move. The fan base, you know, just being in the South in general, they just excited about football. You know, I feel like being down there, a lot more people more invested into you know, the arena game too, being that, you know, they have a rich background, being that they had the what was the team there at first? What was the
Predators?
the Predators.
Predators.
So yeah, you know, with the players we got coming back, you know, we got a lot of guys that's from the South. We always had a lot of Florida boys on that Pirate team. You know, a lot of guys just decided to be closer to home. You know, they'll be able to have families be able to come and see them. And it's easy to recruit. It's hard to tell a guy that never seen snow to come to Massachusetts. So it's easy to recruit now being down there. So I feel like, you know, it's been a hard transition, I'm sure, for, you know, Jawad or whatnot. But as far as the football side is what, you know, I'm talking about. It's been exciting.
Krish, do you have any questions for Toby?
Good to see you, my boy. No, I wanted to ask you about that with Jawad. You know, the opportunity he has to recruit. How much easier do you think it is for him in Florida now?
Man, it's super easy. You know, Jawad, one thing about Jawad, it's crazy because Jawad the type to, he's not a type to really, I say not recruit like arena guys, if you understand what I'm saying. Like I hear y'all was just talking earlier into the interview about some of the guys that was in flag football. Jawad more so the type. He sit there and watch the NFL transaction board. It's crazy because I be trying to tell him, I'm like, man, you think a guy just gonna come straight down? I did it, but a guy not gonna. It's rare for a guy to come straight out of the NFL camp, practice squad, whatever, and come straight to the arena ball. But you know, Jawad believe in the product, and you know he been doing it. He do so. It's so easy now to, you know, tell guys. I mean, you in Orlando, Florida. We don't have to. You know, a lot of guys didn't like the connecting flights. That was a big issue for a lot of a lot of people. So now, you know, we used to connect a lot in Orlando. Now we can just get on the flight, even if we got to travel to let's say Arizona or somewhere. It's easy. We just get on the flight and go straight there. There used to be a 7-hour day just going one way. Now you just hop on the flight. If it's 5 hours, you just go to 5, or 4 hours, you just go to 4 hours. So it's super easy. It's super easy and it's super easy. I won't say we trying to take guys from other teams, but you know, you don't have to say much when you're in Florida. Who don't want to play in Florida?
Most definitely. Nah, kind of talk about that D line room though. You know, you got a couple of your dogs back, DJ Dale, Jacquez Bristol, Michael Mason, and you got Epps from New Mexico and Buffalo Bills coming in. Like, how excited are you for the year 2 of your D line room?
I'm super, super excited. I hope I don't lose none of my guys to, you know, these other leagues. That's kind of been my thing. I'm trying to like push them to, you know, eventually move up because we don't have like a older defensive line room. My defensive line room is still super young. I think the oldest one out of that bunch is 23 or 24, one of them. But I'm super excited for these guys, man. These guys can flat out play. I've been making calls the whole off season. You know, it's a bittersweet thing because that's like I want to look good too. So of course I'm trying to pitch them to these UFL teams or CFL teams and all that. But you know, they come back with me, which they had already signed. So I'm just speaking that they're gonna be there. I'm excited, man. I feel like we're gonna have the best group in the league again, and you know, I just look forward to coaching those guys. You know, I haven't got my hands on X and yet. Watching his film, this dude is stout. He's a monster in that middle, and he got a motor. He runs to that ball, everything. You know, when me and Jawal was looking at his film, that's one of the things was so impressive about him. Like he would just manhandling guys, and yeah, DJ a beast. We ain't got to talk much about DJ. I know y'all seen him last year. We got Mike Mason came back. He's dominant. You know, Mike. I used to say this thing about Mike. Mike have a wife or a fiance, and DJ married too. That's another thing. I don't have to worry about these guys getting in trouble. They all got wives and the altar field stuff. I had the best group of guys, but I'm just looking forward to Mike having his girl and DJ having this girl too in them stands. They play better when their wives were there. For some odd reason, they want to go out there and have monster games when their wives was up there in the stands. And you know, JB a Florida boy, so it's easy for him. You don't be able to tell them boys that nothing. You know, the Florida guys, they kind of stick together. So I'm just excited to, you know, coach these guys. You know, we're gonna be playing a new defense or whatnot, so it's gonna be a different language. And those guys embracing the, you know, they embrace change, they embracing the, you know, they like structure. I feel like my group was the leader of the team last year. And you know, I always preach it's gonna run through, you know, the guys up front, and that's O-line and D-line. So I look forward to my guys making everybody around them better.
Cody, do you have any questions?
Of course I do. What's up, Toby?
How you doing?
Doing all right. I got some questions for you. First of all, as you know, coach for the Pirates, are there with a couple months till the season starts, are there anything or any rule changes that you know about as of yet that compared to like last season where they're, you know, they got rid of blitzing outside the alley, they got rid of stunting and twisting and all of that stuff. Is there anything different that they're doing this year that you know of yet that has made its waves around the inner circles or anything like that?
No, they haven't. We haven't had the meeting to talk about that yet. I'm sure, you know, Todd and those guys, they want, you know, they're just like the NFL. They want the offense to score 1 billion points and nobody to be able to stop them. It's already hard enough.
Yeah.
You know, these guys got the high motion and whatnot, but I'm sure they're going to try to change something. But, you know, we haven't talked about that yet.
Okay.
TJ, do you have any questions?
Yeah, Coach. You know, obviously the Pirates, big brand. You kind of touched on it before, but how much, not necessarily easier, but just more fluid has it been getting guys to come down to Orlando as opposed to Massachusetts? You know, I live in the Northeast, so I know the weather isn't always that great, but you know, you think of Orlando and it's like a destination spot. So has that just helped the Pirates even more with recruiting?
Yes, it helps a lot, man. The off season, it was so many guys. I can't tell y'all like how many guys that reached out to me, myself, or Jawad, or these guys that was already playing on other teams had been playing in the league. And you know, we like our guys. One thing about the Pirates, we try to keep the core group together. You know, being that with the vet rule and stuff like that, we Jawad had to make a, you know, he had to change a lot of things, but for the most part, our core group is young, so it's kind of hard to. You have to really be a guy in order to, you know, is to be older and try to you know, come over here and play, because we only get, I think, six vet guys or 7 vet guys, but the recruitment it's been wild. I tell Jawad that all the time. I feel like, you know, guys be trying to wait around on the UFL, the CFL, see if they're going to get a look. And I told him this one of them years where we ain't got to, we going to let the product speak for itself. Like, guys reaching out to us trying to sign back, you know, fast. Like, there wasn't this offseason, I feel like, been the easiest to recruit for him. You know, I feel like every offseason, Jawad, he going to be in the lab all day, every day. But it's been a lot of guys. I like to get on there myself, and you know, I don't never just, if a guy reach out to me, I ain't never just you know, not looking at his message. If he send me film, I'm finna watch it on the spot right there, because I want to see. You never know, you may catch a diamond in the rough. And you know, I've been sending Jawad guys that can flat out play, and Jawad tell me, oh yeah, we got another guy that's, you know, he sent that film. I'm like, yeah. So it's been, man, we got some ballers. We got some real deal ballers that's, you know, some new additions to the team. Some guys that haven't even been announced yet that, you know, I'm looking forward to it. I'm waiting on that name to hit that transaction board so we'll be able to talk about it. But we got some guys. It's so easy to recruit. And then a lot of, you know, we got a couple smaller school guys that's gonna shock some people.
Absolutely. So one thing I wanted to ask you about, and I know this is an indoor football show, so chat, don't kill me for this, but earlier this offseason, I follow you on Twitter. I've noticed that you were putting up some posts about your interest in coaching in the UFL. So I was curious, have you received any interest to go to the UFL as of yet? Or
Yes, you know, I talked to like 3 other teams, and you know, a lot of guys came in with their own defensive line guys, um, which I was upset about. I'm not gonna. They say this is a league of opportunity. I think the main thing it was that I haven't officially retired yet. So a lot of guys like, oh man, I thought you was playing. But I feel like that's one thing I'm gonna have to really put out there, that you know I'm officially retired. I really be kind of straddling the fence. You know, last year was my first year not playing, and it was so hard. It was just so hard. I had to take my mind completely. 'Cause I feel like if I was working out last year, I tried not to work out. When I worked out, I got like so crazy into this. Man, I wanna try to play. I wanna try. So I had to just remove my mind. Going into it this year, I feel like, you know, I feel like a lot of coaches just don't really want to believe that, you know, I'm done. I'm done. Like, they don't want to face the fact. So it's been hard. I feel like the one team that I thought I had the job. Like, you know, I know the coordinators. You know, I played with the coordinators, and for some odd reason I didn't get the job, and I was shocked. After I was, you know, pretty much they brought it to my attention that, you know, I was one of the candidates, top candidate. I thought I had the job, honestly, and you know it didn't work out for some odd reason. Uh, with the Pirates or whatnot, I feel like I'm leaving the program. If I was to leave the program, I would have left the program in a better position than I found it. That's kind of been like my main thing. Wherever I go, I want to leave. Like if I leave somewhere, I want to leave it better than what I found it. And you know, with this transition, I feel like a lot of guys that we brought back is, you know, our guys. You know, being down there in Orlando, I feel like it's easier to for investment for on the business side too. It's easy for a guy to want to come invest, you know, in the Orlando team. Uh, you know, like I said, Bender, they got a rich history, but man, I would have loved to got one of those jobs because I could have bought some of the guys. Not only my defensive lineman, I be trying to vouch for. I vouch for guys like Smoke Monday. I love that guy. Like one of my favorite players. Uh, Dustin Mack. Uh, a lot of them DBs can flat out play. I played in these spring leagues my whole life, and Jawar got a real deal outdoor team over there. It took them a little minute last year because we had a lot of rookies on defense to adjust to the arena game. And even though they played 7, 8 games, I feel like they still didn't respect the game enough to you know, want to put that time into it. And it's a arena game. I tell people all the time, it's not sweet. Like on the outside looking in, it may look sweet from being outside, coming down, and you get embarrassed when you get in here. So I feel like now the team gonna be, being that they got half a season in the league, this gonna probably be, they're gonna be up there with the team that you know, we had the 2021 year. These guys can flat out play. I'm not at every position. You just need to be coached well, and guys need to buy in. And it's easy to I'm going to say make. It's easy to have guys buy in being in Florida because guess what? You don't want to play. We got a guy. We ain't got to jump on. We ain't got to jump on Twitter or Instagram or what. We got a million guys have sent their film. They live 30 minutes down the street, driving distance. So you don't want to play, okay, cool, heck, your flight or bus ticket, whatever not, you can go home. And this guy, so it's gonna be easy this year for everybody to be on page. It'd be super easy. And you know, I feel like we got a coach not trying to you know, say he's better than the last guy we had or whatnot. But I feel like it's easy for a guy like that to it's easy for the guys to listen to a guy like that, you know, being that he done had one of the, especially on defense, he didn't had like every year, the last couple of years, he didn't had a defense player of the year. He did been up there in the rankings as far as like top defenses. You know, I feel like our defense last year was better, but that guy, his name speak for itself. I'm excited to coach with him for real.
Krish, go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, Coach, one question I have for you. A lot of people have talked about our quarterback position last year, not to get too much into it, but this year, how do you feel about the quarterback room? Like, where do you think we're going in terms of that position?
I feel like we're going in the right direction. I think people ain't get the real. They ain't really get a chance to see our quarterback last year. I feel like some of the stuff he was doing in practice was like ridiculous. I'm not gonna. I know the last game didn't really. The last game didn't really turn out how we all thought it was gonna turn out. I felt like that the guy can flat out play. And back in the starter we had last year, I don't know whether or not he's going to sign back or whatnot, but I feel like it's going to be a very, very competitive room. I feel like, I don't really want to put Jawad and them maybe down, but I'm thinking they're going to get a vet, somebody that can help. They can help. The starter this year is going to be a vet. I don't feel like it's going to be two rookies playing at the quarterback position. I feel like that was kind of hard on the coaching staff and the players too. You want guys. If you're gonna have two rookies, I feel like you need a guy that played the quarterback position in the league, coaching them. So it was easy when Dro and them took over because he had Sean Brackett. You know what I mean? He had Sean Brackett right there coaching him, even though he took his spot or whatnot. So it's different ways to shake the room up. But I feel like it's going to be a very competitive room, and it's a lot of quarterback guys in Orlando. They got like the quarterback gurus down there in that area. So a lot of guys been reaching out. A lot of guys, man. A lot of coaches too. Guys just want to volunteer. You ain't really got to pay them. This how crazy it is in Orlando. Guys just want to be a part. Like it's ridiculous.
That's fair. Cody, do you have any?
Yeah. So last year you guys did not make the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. How much of a hunger, a drive, vendetta, revenge tour, whatever you want to call it, how much are you putting into stock to not just make the playoffs, get the 1 seed? How much is it to, hey, new team, well, not new team, but you know what I mean, like relocated down to Orlando, put the Pirates back up on the map, run the ship, walk the plank, whatever you want to say. How much of a drive are you guys putting in to say, hey, we're gunning for that championship again?
I think it started with the coaching staff. Being that we shook up the room with the coaching staff. We talking about a guy that been there, did that at several levels. We don't want to be thinking that far down the line for us, like playoff championship, but this a prove it year. This a leave no doubt year in my book, and that it started with the coaching staff. I haven't worked with the guy, but I'm excited the way he approached just everyday life. Like, we ain't even talk football. It's just everyday life, how he dressed to the T. Everything this dude do is like, it's about structure. It's about being on time. It's about speaking well. It's about, being presentable. It's about everything with him. And I feel like that's going to rub off on the players. And, it's up. We always had the talent. That's one thing about the Pirates. The Pirates would never not have the talent. So I put last year on us, the coaching staff. I don't know if the message was getting across. I don't know if guys was really that bought into it, but I feel like the coaching staff going in there with more so a chip on our shoulder. And I'm sure the players too. The players seeing, the every position got better. We already had good players. Every position got better from the receiver room. I feel like we had the best receiver. We went out and got one of the top receivers with Newton. The defense line, we felt like the defense line was one of the best. We went out and got another guy. So it's still going to get more. Training camp going to be it's going to be fun. And we look forward to, guys competing for that spot. So we don't want no guy that, that been around the organization that's comfortable just being an arena guy or just, comfortable just being around the organization. We want guys to really walk into the building before they get off the bus knowing what they about to do. That was one of the things in that 2021 year. Not to sound cocky or nothing, but after that third game of the season, well, I think it was like the third game. I think we hadn't lost to Frisco or somebody. We had a players meeting, and from that time on, it was the coach's aim had to be there. We knew from the jump we was getting off the bus to take care of business. Like we wasn't playing. We wasn't playing when it come to weights, practice, none of the nothing, meeting, nothing. We wasn't playing anymore. So the guys gotta, they gotta lock in and build that camaraderie, and I feel like everything gonna take care of itself because competition brings out the best in real football players. I don't want guys comfortable. If you'd have been there 3-4 years and you wasn't first team all league, I want you fighting for your spot. I don't care. If you wasn't first team all league, even if you were first team all league and it was a guy halfway, you was 1A, 1B, I want you fighting for your spot this year. I want guys to leave no doubt that you're the best player in the league. And that's across the board. So hopefully, that brings out the best in these guys.
That's fair. I wanted to ask you, obviously, the news of the FanDuel partnership as well as the partnership with Yahoo Sports. How has that affected the guys that are contacting you? I mean, do you think that's a big reason why the recruiting has been so easy this year?
Yeah, man. Whoever Todd and Jared and them got working these deals or whatnot, it's been super easy. I feel like with them putting us on that different platform they had last year, it kind of killed a little bit of the fan base because guys, people don't want to pay that extra $11 a month, how much it was a month. And they took away a lot of the older games where people could really learn the game. Because I feel like for new fans, it's once you get them there, the product gonna speak for itself. But a lot of people want to go see it on live first. If you took all the games off the YouTube, it was hard for a person to want to go. You don't pay $11 for something I don't know nothing about, and then so I feel like now it's gonna be easy. They can sit at home and watch the game. Then they come to visit Disney World or whatnot. This gonna be a destination trip for people. I feel like it'd be super easy. FanDuel is a big betting site. A lot of guys like to gamble and be super easy. You got women and stuff that loves to gamble, so it'd be super easy. They watch a game on there. I feel like it'd be easy to fill the seats up this year. We got the deal. If y'all haven't seen, go on there. We got deals. I think it's like $47 or $40.07. One of them. I kind of forget the number, but if y'all watching this, go grab y'all season tickets or whatnot. It's gonna be a show. We're gonna put on a show. Not a nice venue.
I wanted to ask you this, Toby. You see a comment like this, from Mike Davis right here. How much does the outside noise, comments like this, man, it gets me so fired up. How much does the outside noise and the hate and all the negative comments about the organization fire you up for 2026?
I'm looking forward to it. Guys like Mike Davis and all these guys just know what y'all seen last year. I promise you that will never happen again. I feel like we was the laughing stock of the league last year. I'm not gonna lie. To have all that talent, to not make the playoffs, and not in the end, I feel like guys took that personal when even though I used to tell guys all the time, I used to be like, with us losing like this, you may think you having a good season, but it's gonna affect you as an individual player too. So if you really wanna, if you really want something out of this, you really want to move up, you got to get the guys around you to play better. We didn't really have no guys last year that make all league. That affected a lot of guys, and we felt like that should have made something. Even though we had a bad team collectively, it affected the guys. So I feel like now a lot of guys gonna be on to one another, and we just look forward to competing. That's the first thing. We're gonna compete within, and then I look forward to going down there to Vegas or wherever. I don't know. Do we play Vegas this year? Do we play them?
May 18th, man. I'm so excited.
And, we look forward to going down there and competing with Mr. Mike Davis, and they always have a good team, good defense, good quarterbacks, and good defensive line. I hear great things about Mr. Mike, and I look forward to competing with him.
I've got one last question for you, Toby, before we let you get out of here for the day. Talk to me a little bit. I mean, I know you kind of delved into your transition from being a player to being a coach a little bit, but I wanted to ask, I mean, talk to me about your coaching experience so far, in season one as in your role with Massachusetts last season.
Yeah, as far as my coaching role, it was super fun. I'm kind of more so old school. Even though, we got all the technology and stuff, I'm more hands-on, pencil and paper. I probably scouted over every game that was played this year. I watched it probably 3 times, every single game. Even teams we didn't even have on schedule. I just became obsessed with, the arena game, the X's and O's. It's a copycat league, and it's different than outdoors. These guys, they done worked. If they coached over here in Frisco, they were doing the same plays. It's just they got trees. All these guys pretty much do the same thing. And when you really understand that the coaching or the offensive play calling, is only so much you can do in the arena based on, the scheme we like to run on defense. It's only so much. Every defense have a hole in it. It just depends on if the offense coached well enough to, expose it. And I love coaching these guys. My defensive line was just so easy going. They loved one another. They stayed with one another. And I feel like we got to get everybody on page. I feel like we need to. I don't know what the living situation is or whatnot for the players, but I hope this year we can get all the guys around one another, so we can cook more often, we can do stuff more often. I try to feed my defense as much as possible. They were hurting my little pockets. I feel I was giving my whole check to them most of the week, but I look forward to coaching, man. I loved it, and I felt like being with guys like I had on the defensive line, it's easy. They making me look good, like real good. It was team. I still got teams. Even it's a continental league or something. I have coaches reach out to me every league now, and I feel like people think that people don't watch that IFL, but they definitely do. And I feel like I got some opportunities stole from me, being that we didn't make the playoffs this past year, and I look forward to proving myself again. I look forward to we got a new coaching staff. I look forward to proving to him too. You never know. Anything I look forward to proving to him too. A lot of guys may he didn't hear a lot of things from. I look forward to proving myself to him too. So, this guy got a real big name around the league. Hopefully he can, speak good things about me eventually. And I'm not trying to say I want to leave the Pirates or whatnot, but I'm always looking to, move up. I feel like I put the work in, and everybody want to move up, and that was one of his things he kept saying too. He don't want guys that's comfortable, and so we on the same page. We want guys that's looking to elevate their lives, and I want to be around like-minded guys, and I feel like we all. He put the staff together this year. That's they believe that.
Agreed. We have a question in the chat out of curiosity. Did you guys attend the National Scouting Combine?
No. One thing about this new coaching staff, Coach Keith and those guys, they shocked me because we was talking one day and we was having dinner, and these guys already have a whole rundown. Me and Joel, we sit here and watch stuff online all day, watch the transaction boards, and we go look up what they already got on paper. They just look up a guy like, oh, he ran this 40, he jumped this, he went here, he did. They have the whole. I don't know how they get it, but they have the whole thing. The whole. So that's another thing, being with Coach Keefe, it's crazy how much access they got to like stuff like that. Like they already have the names and the official times and all that stuff. I'm talking about soon it hit or soon like the last year time they have the whole breakdown by these guys. So we got to get caught up with stuff like that. But we didn't. I didn't attend it. Maybe one of the other coaches, because Coach Keefe and them, they live in Orlando, but I didn't attend. It.
That's fair. Krish, do you have any other questions?
Yeah, Coach, one question I wanted to ask you is kind of your player relationships, compared to this year to last year. Like, how do you think you've improved in that area?
I think I improved very good, being that, a lot of the players, they kind of seen last year that, I was so passionate about the game, not because, I'm a coach or whatnot. I was like this as a player. And, a lot of the guys was able to trust me because they seen the work I was putting in. They think they smarter than me. They think a lot of those guys, they come in with questions and stuff, and I already have it wrote down, broke out for them. And, it just building the trust. And I try not to just be like that with my room. I try to be like this across the board with the whole organization. And I feel like every player on there, it's always going to be something that a player don't like about a coach. And they tell me I'm too militant. I can be too militant at times, but I only believe in one way. I mean, if you the way you do one thing, the way you do everything. So I try to tell them, you got to approach the game. You got to be firm. I'm not trying to be militant about nothing, but I just want the best for those guys. They say they want to move up, or we got an older guy that say, oh man, I think I'm just. I'm comfortable doing this. I tell them, come on, coach, then, because we want guys that, trying to move up, want the best out of themselves. And if you already comfortable, you're not gonna put in that extra hour film, nothing like that. So I feel like they trust me. I know a lot of them, they may act like they know, but those guys love me. And you can ask any of the coaches, those guys love me. They feel like, I got a different relationship with them, which I don't. I just know how I feel to be a player. I've been in this thing a long, long, long time. I'm only 1 year removed, so it's easy for me to go down and God be playing with me and trying me. It's easy for me to get down there and do the move for him, or get down there and go jump in practice. It's easy for me. Whatever I ask a player to do, I promise you I can do it like clockwork. And I ain't got to work. I ain't got to do nothing. It became second nature from putting the reps in so much, and watching film.
That's fair. Cody, do you want to close us out, and then we'll let Toby get out of here for the day?
Yeah, I've got like kind of a silly question. I thought I saw the other day that the Massachusetts Pirates turf was for sale, which means you guys are probably getting new turf down there. Are you guys getting away from the blue turf? Are you guys getting new blue turf? You guys setting the sale?
I don't. Look, the arena, the Kill Center have their own turf, so that's kind of why keep something in the storage.
Right.
That's a Jawad type of question, but why keep it in the stores when you can sell it? It's like we ain't never going back to Massachusetts. If I'm being honest, I don't know. The team could possibly go back one day, but right now, that's hard. So you might well just sell it. That turf is expensive. Everybody looking for turf nowadays, and the arena have their own turf. So it probably costs more of the storage than it probably costs more of the storage than you might well just sell it. So yeah, that's real. So if y'all looking to buy turf, reach out to Jawad or Adrian and somebody. I'm sure they're looking to sell the turf for sure.
Absolutely. That's hilarious.
Yes, that's real.
Famous photo of Toby covering Marcus Floyd at practice. He does this. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, Toby, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it, and I can't wait till they announce the Georgia UFL team in 2027 or 2028 and announce you as the head coach.
Oh, that'll be something so vicious. I'll bring the whole team. Jawad will be so mad at me. I'll bring the whole team with me. But I appreciate y'all for having me on here, man. I enjoyed the show.
Thank you. Well, we appreciate you coming on, multiple times this season. It's always a blast talking to you. And really, I mean, obviously you're in a great position with the Pirates. You could be in a lot worse spots in terms of your coaching career. But, I really do hope you get the opportunity at the UFL level. I know you really want that. And obviously we want to see you get nothing but success in the future. So,
yeah. Also, before I leave, I'm sorry. Before I leave, Georgia have a positioning opening in. No, I will talk about that another. We'll talk about that another time. Let's talk about that another time.
All right.
We'll talk about something. Y'all see me tweet something about Georgia, so y'all push that out for me.
You got that. You got it. Speaking of which, did you change your Twitter handle?
Nah, I needed to take a break. I need to take a break from Twitter and social media and all that stuff. So I deleted my Facebook and my Twitter, and I'm about to delete the Instagram today. I need to take a break, and I'm trying to get jobs and stuff, and I need to really separate myself from that type of stuff, because I feel like people be looking at my stuff like, oh, this guy here, he's so outspoken, and I can't help who I am. I'm a good person, but I mean what I say, and I just mean what I say, and it's, I feel like it have hurt me on opportunities, so I got to kind of rebrand. So I'm looking forward to doing that, and I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna be back soon, so I'm just trying to clean my image up a little bit.
That makes sense. You're transitioning from being a player to coach.
Yes.
I like it. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Toby. It's been a blast talking to you as always. Best of luck in the future, and we would look forward to having you on in the future as well.
See y'all.
Have a great one. Once again, that was Toby Johnson, coach.
No, I need to respond to Mike Davis because this is not sitting well with me at all. So, you see this comment right here, out here. Where is it? Okay, yeah. So my words, right? So I can't stand my quarterback room, right? So, all right. So Money Mike. All right, this is my message to you, right? Like, you're right. You're 100% right. I did say that to you, and I said that out loud and publicly too. Like, Talia needs to come a long way in 2026. That's a fact. We all know Talia needs to come a long way. The Eastern Conference is loaded with quarterbacks, but I believe if he comes in with the right mindset, the talent he was born with will be able to take him far. But he needs to come in with the right mindset and the ability and the drive to work, and that's with any player on our roster. But as Toby said, the standard this year is different. The mindset this year is different, and we don't want guys who are coming in, being comfortable or anything. Like, we want guys who are coming in to work. So I believe that if any player on the roster doesn't perform right away or in a certain expected period of time, they will be replaced, and that's just the way it is. So it's the new Pirates, man. It's a new wave, new era, and I'm so excited to see you on May 18th. Don't get off the bus, man. It's gonna be a long day. So
you could say they're adopting that Vegas Nighthawk strategy out there, but that's a story for another day.
Can I say something?
Absolutely, go.
I've got two things. One, forget Mike Davis. What has he ever done? He hasn't. What has he ever done? Two, I'm just kidding. Two, Dylan Rayola's in the transfer portal. You can go sign him, and he can back up.
Not an Ole Miss.
That's fake. He didn't commit to Ole Miss. But I'm just saying, you want another quarterback, and you want to hate that quarterback room. I've been doing it for 2 years, buddy.
We need to sign KJ. If we are going to sign another one, we should sign, and I'm not, obviously, Jawad probably already has someone better, but we should sign that from Arkansas, KJ Jefferson.
KJ Jefferson, yeah.
Yeah, he would be nice. I wouldn't mind him competing, but Jawad will find someone. Jawad always finds the best players.
Will they take a snap, though? Because I'm still waiting for Cardale Jones.
All right, let's move on.
I don't feel like that was necessarily on Jawad. I think Cardale had retired and he didn't decide to tell anybody.
The worst one with Trayvon Boykin. That got me mad. When we signed Trayvon Boykin, I was so excited. I was calling Jawad, like, let's go, man. I was so excited. And then that criminal sign with the Mexican League, and I was like, I hate Trayvon Boykin.
All right,
I
come
blocked him on
now,
Instagram,
Krish.
Facebook, and Twitter.
You gotta tone it down a little bit with the way you describe people. You can't be out here calling the guy a criminal when he definitely turned his life around. Like, let's chill out a little bit, all right? Everybody deserves a second chance. You've said that countless times on this show, countless times. So
I know he turned it. I'm just really animated because he didn't show up, and I hate when players. We're not Southwest Kansas. We're not some of the teams you all support, right? Like we don't like to be stepped on. I know you're used to that because you're a Southwest Kansas fan. Players can step on you and not show up and then be welcomed back, or players can look for other opportunities while signed. Like, I know that's fine. That's okay over there, but not this is different
all
level.
right. So not only did you not take my advice, you had to insult somebody else in the process. Good job, Krish. Way to be real professional.
Hey, Sam, you're just sitting there. Let me crap all over you and your team.
Exactly. Like, I'm just trying to point out that, like, we need to be a little bit nicer to some of the people. There's no reason to bash them as individuals. Like, I get that you're upset that he left. But that is definitely a little bit too far, is all I'm saying. It's okay. I get it. He betrayed the Pirates. He's dead in your eyes. Please stop using we, he said. I love it. That's hilarious. For the record, Krish does not speak for the Pirates.
No, it's my opinion. It's my opinion only. No. Yeah, my opinion only, but no.
No.
We're winning a championship this year, so that's all that matters, right?
Gotcha. Definitely. So, Cody, I just realized your headline. I appreciate that, man.
Hey, man, I could put number 3 behind, like, your kids and your wife and everything, but it's number 1 in my heart.
I love it. I'll take it. Justice, not sure where this came from, man. You're on the totally wrong show. While I could probably give you that advice, we're talking indoor football currently, so I apologize. That's hilarious. So yeah, Krish's views do not reflect the views of all of us day one Orlando Pirates fans. Love it. Thanks for Trey chiming in. Those are your opinions. Win a ship or shave the head.
Oh, I'll be doing something way more extreme than that, but we won't discuss that because I won't have to worry because we're winning a championship.
He'll be giving compliments. It's that extreme.
There you go. That's what he has to do. He has to compliment Louisiana. Exactly, Adrian says. He thought it was the John Clay Wolf show, man. And then we got this comment. That's for you, Krish. We know that for sure. All right. So since we put a pin in this topic, we're going to return back to it. We talked a little bit earlier. Cody got to express his thoughts on the FanDuel situation. So with that in mind, TJ, I wanted to go to you next. What are your thoughts on the FanDuel situation? As we mentioned before, just so anybody didn't catch it earlier, the MLB teams have missed some payments, so that they have decided to separate themselves from FanDuel at this point and go back to the MLB network. So there is some speculation that FanDuel could be potentially going under quicker than anybody thought. And then that could potentially affect the IFL. So with that in mind, TJ, what are your thoughts on that situation?
Well, obviously, it's not looking too good for FanDuel now. That was a big thing to kind of hit the news stream this week. But at the end of the day, it's not as big as it would have been, say, 5 years ago, because they, like Cody touched on earlier, they do still have the IFL network, which is literally their own personal internal hub. So worst case, if the FanDuel, situation does fall through, they can still revert back at least to the network. But, you also have to think, maybe they're staying quiet because maybe they were told of this was going to happen, maybe, or maybe they knew something, or maybe, quite frankly, they're just sitting back saying, holy crap, let's just see how this plays out. You just don't know. But it's not a sky is falling moment. like it would have been a few years ago, just because they do have that IFL network backbone to fall back on.
That's fair. That's a fair point. I do think that is kind of eventually probably going to end up having to be the solution here, but I've actually got a conspiracy theory. So, obviously, FanDuel is trying to be sold. In fact, we mentioned earlier that DAZN, I believe, is the big company that is trying to
DAZN.
purchase them. Sorry, DAZN.
Yeah,
Basically, with that in mind, they've been trying to work out this purchase for a while. I believe that there's a situation that might be happening where FanDuel is potentially purposely allowing their value to sink a little bit in order to facilitate that purchase. And maybe I'm way off base. Maybe I'm completely off base on this, but if you lose the MLB but you keep the IFL, which to my understanding is paying their own broadcast fees, then with that in mind, I mean, that's a lot cheaper product for FanDuel to continue carrying. And, assuming that they do get sold, it makes a lot more sense for that next entity that purchases FanDuel to want the product of the IFL on there, because they're not having to foot the bill for the broadcast costs. But just a thought, just something that I've kind of wondered about. But Krish, what are your thoughts on this situation before we move on?
Yeah, I think worst comes to worst, right? All the games return to the IFL network, or most of the games. I like the IFL network. I'm a huge fan of it. I think it works great, and I really enjoy using the platform. It's easy to use, and I think if they add a TV app, it'll be great, right? And so, but obviously, I think this is why the IFL hasn't put out a full schedule yet. It's stated on the Strictly Business podcast. I think Cody, you probably caught some of it. December 15th. With the original date that she said the full schedule with times and everything would be released. I know on our website, on the Orlando Pirate website, it says February 16th, I believe at 10 a.m. Don't quote me on that, but the tickets go on sale. So essentially, like, the tickets go on sale during that day. So that means probably by middle of February, we should have the full times. At the very latest, I would assume. But
well, it could be behind the scenes too, but I thought I saw something on Arena Fan saying that like the New Jersey games are being holed up with that too, trying to figure out times for those as well. Could be misremembering, but that was something I saw at a glance.
Interesting. Toby's chiming in. He wanted to clarify Chandler Jones, dear
Cardale.
Lord, Cardale.
Chandler
Thank
Jones.
you. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
how disrespectful.
Way out there. Jones had a broadcasting gig he couldn't turn down for a lot more money.
He's with CBS Sports.
Yeah, 100%. I think he was with initially, wasn't it like the Big Ten Network or something like that?
I think it's Big Ten Network. Is it? Yeah, I thought it was CBS Sports because I thought he was over there as well.
He was with the Big Ten Network. He was actually on a panel with to give a shout out here, former offensive lineman from our 2021 championship team, Jared Thomas, who was in the UFL with the Memphis Showboats. He's on Big Ten Network with him. So cool to see.
That's crazy. Then there was also, he said Trevon Boykin had a better option, or not a better option, but a higher money offer in another league.
Yeah, but Toby, you know damn well if you wanted to yourself, you could go over Europe and you could be a face of the city over there, because of how good you are. So, I mean, I always will say the IFL, no matter the amount of money, is always better than any of these overseas leagues.
Well, it depends on it depends on your end goal, right? So Boykin's probably at the point in his career where he realizes he's not likely to go back to the NFL, the UFL, the CFL, any of that. They're probably not going to touch him. So at his point in his career he's at now, I can understand wanting to go just get as much money as you possibly can before you finally hang up the cleats personally. So I think that's more indicative of his personal situation than it is of him not wanting to play for the Pirates, because obviously the Pirates are a great organization. We're not going to, have anything bad to say about them because they take care of their players and coaches from as far as we know. So one more move that I wanted to talk about that I thought was a pretty big signing for the IFL was Devin Hafford, or D Hafford, previously with San Diego, jumped over to Arizona, which I think is a huge move. So I wanted to bring that up. What do you guys think about the move for Hafford to go to Arizona in 2026?
I mean, it's just Arizona reloading like they normally do. One that we could have put on here too is not just Hafford, but they just re-signed Ron Brown Jr. to add to the offensive side of the ball. So it's just Arizona doing Arizona things, exactly what they're going to do to try and run it back. And as long as they don't get a phantom holding call or false start or whatever against San Diego, then everything should be hunky-dory for them in the future.
I don't know. I'm in for that second iteration of the Kevin Guy ref rant. I think it would be great if we got another one. So, TJ, what are your thoughts on the signing for Hafford to Arizona?
I mean, I really like it. He's going to bring huge force to the defensive side of the ball, but he is also going to potentially be really great on special teams too. Last season had over 500 kickoff return yards. So I mean, he's you can argue kind of a dual threat with being able to play defense and also being a kick returner. So yeah, again, Arizona doing what they normally do, which is get really good players and set themselves up to at least be in the playoffs, if not in the championship.
Agreed. And actually, that's where I think Hafford might have a bigger impact is on special teams. Krish, thoughts?
Yeah, Devin, he played at Tarleton State. The rumor was over early in the offseason he was going to head down to Beaumont and play for them. But, look, I think he played for us in 2024. Really nice guy. He was really, really nice guy. I had great interactions with him when he played for the Pirates, and I like him as a person. I think he's dynamic in the open field. The only thing is he's not really good in man coverage. He struggles to cover, which is one of the only things. Like that's my only criticism of his game. But he's a good guy. Great, he'll fit the culture down in Arizona. He's a good guy, and I wish him the best. That's someone who I truly want to see be successful. Him, and then they got one of the other Pirate players down there, Cyrus Fagan. So it'll be cool to watch both of them play on the same defense.
I was going to say former Pirates player, and Krish is talking well about him. So, that's a good thing. But yeah, definitely think that's a big signing for Arizona. I mean, Arizona already had a pretty solid return game over the past couple seasons, but adding Hafford and then getting him in the secondary as well, I think that's a very valuable veteran signing. And
I think Arizona might have the number one rushing attack in the league, Cody. Honestly, I mean, I look at them with Ron Brown and Timo Clark and Max Myler. I mean, how can you not look at that and say that's going to be the new one?
They've got that. They've got everything in the secondary, bringing back Isaiah Huff and signing Malik Fleming from Jacksonville. And then they still re-signed Kevin Sims. Offensively, they brought back Corey Reed. The rushing game's there. It's just Arizona doing Arizona things. That's exactly what they do.
That is true. And honestly, it's been fun to watch. I think the West Conference is going to be very competitive once again in 2026. So, between Vegas, San Diego's done a lot of good things. There's a lot to like about a lot of those teams in the West out there. But we're gonna.
I mean, are we at the point now where we can kind of essentially call Arizona Rattlers kind of like the Patriots a little bit? They've just been good forever. They're always hanging around. I mean, is anyone really, none of us are really surprised at all these awesome moves they're making yet again.
True. Other than the fact that they haven't won anything in a while, which I guess fits perfectly with the Patriots. So.
No, I mean they won a championship.
In the outdoor game,
they just won a championship 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2024.
Yeah, sorry, 2 years ago. You're right. 2 years ago.
No, and look, in Arizona, I'll say one thing, man. They're always really competitive. They're always great. I mean, Coach Guy, I can't say enough good things about him. He does a great job, and with Coach Riggs down there, I mean, I think Arizona's in for a nice year. And Arizona and Vegas, those are my final Western Conference championship teams. I really believe those two will be facing off for the trip to the chip. So
to go along with what TJ said, I wouldn't call them the Patriots since the NFL kind of has their salary cap. We know what happens in the indoor arena. I'd put them along the lines of the Yankees. They've got the money. They will get the players. They're like, hey, Aaron Judge, come over here. Hey, Giancarlo Stanton, come over here. Hey, insert name. We're going to get the Dodgers. They're just going to buy it. Whether or not they win the title is one thing, but that's pretty much where it is. Hey, you won the MVP. Come over here. Hey, Dalton Sneed. Hey, Drew Powell, hey, whoever, come over here. So I'd put them on along the lines of the Dodgers or the Yankees more than the Patriots.
You have a good point there. For sure.
Yeah, I love that.
The quarterback situation for sure. Really, when you kind of list it the way you just did, I mean, Dalton Sneed, Max Mailer, Drew Powell. I mean,
Garrett
They have
Kittle.
they have Michael Hires under contract. Like people forget about that. That's insane. I wonder how they view him in their rotation.
Look, and we just said this earlier in the show too. At one point, they had Dalton Sneed, Garrett Kettle, and Lorenzo Brown all on their roster.
Yeah, exactly. And to be completely honest, Krish, I as much as I hate to say it for Michael Ayers, I don't see him factoring in. I mean, how could you possibly take Mailer off the field unless he's injured?
You can, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, Ayers is a hell of a backup and a quality player for sure. And I definitely think there's a situation where he could step in, maybe in 2027 as the starter. But, I mean, honestly, you have to wonder if he ends up wanting to stick around as a backup too. Because, I mean, this is a guy he was in the CFL last season, so.
I mean, with his mobility, I mean, I think he can start for at least 3 to 4 IFL teams right now.
I would agree.
Honestly, he's amazing. He's a good player.
Agree. 100%. And honestly, he should be in the UFL, especially.
He might be with the, playing at Sanford right down the road from Birmingham. He might get opportunities. So
that was my exact thought. Playing at Sanford and with the territory situation in the UFL, it would make sense if he went back outdoors as well. But we're gonna hit a quick commercial break. We'll come back with the AF1, and to my knowledge, that's basically the wrap up point of today. I don't think there's really a ton of other news that we need to touch on anywhere else. But we'll go ahead and hit the commercial. We'll be right back. All right, so we've reached the point in the show where I should probably shout out all the obligatory things that I need to get to. So in the top left corner of your screen or right corner of the screen, depending on how it's oriented for you guys, there is a QR code currently for our second channel where we broadcast a bunch of live games. Lately, we've had major arena soccer. We've had fighting events. We're going to have, I believe, a race coming up tomorrow. So if you like live sports for free, check out that channel, Shady Sports Live Events on YouTube. Again, all of it's completely free when we broadcast, so all 100% legal as well. So with that, also check out our branding blanks section for our merchandise for all Shady Sports Network merchandise and fantasy reports as well. But back to the show, and we will get into the AF1. The big news out of the AF1 this past week is the fact that they just finished up the NSC literally, I think, 2 days ago, and 6 players have signed contracts from that event, including one of those players who played previously in the Japanese X League, wide receiver Shunto Mizuguchi, who also spent some time in an American college. So he definitely is, adept to American football as well. So definitely interesting to see some of these names.
I will say one of the moves that I really like is Nashville. They
Shea
signed a quarterback named Shea Spencer, man. Kaiser University, NAIA champion, over 10,000 yards, 100 touchdowns. Like, I mean, this is the guy who can flat out ball. And, with Tyler Coca, like, you wonder how many more years. I mean, he's getting up there in age. How many, he's not too old, but he's still young relatively. But I'm saying, like, maybe, he's having a child. Like, how long does he want to continue playing? Is this Nashville's quarterback of the future? So it's really exciting to see. And I know Caleb Lowe out there leaving Pueblo to go to Nashville. He must have been having nightmares after seeing that signing. So
That's a good point. Cody, have you looked at all at these signings, and are you surprised to see any of these guys latch on?
I'm not really surprised. Teams are just filling out their rosters just like any other indoor and arena team before the seasons kick off, before the training camps happen. So nothing really necessarily stands out to me too much in the sense of, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but we just don't know. I know that sounds like a cop-out answer, but we don't know if they'll latch on, if they'll be part of the 21, 25-man rosters, what have you. So it's nice that they're getting signed. It's nice that they're getting exposure, and the relationship between the NSC and the AF1 is there. But like I said, if they make the rosters, fantastic. I'm curious to see how they play. If they don't, they got their opportunity, they got the film, they got the relationships and the networking, so they can carry on afterwards.
Absolutely. TJ, what are your thoughts on these moves?
I mean, I think it's great. Anytime you get guys at any kind of combine, it's awesome when they're able to get signed, they're able to get opportunities, because that's what it's all about. You want them to get the exposure and latch on to teams, even if, it is just say for, preseason or off season, hopefully they all make it. I think it really is awesome. And it's cool to see, the AF1, one of the indoor/arena leagues, building a good partnership with that. But at the end of the day, like Cody mentioned, it's about, do they latch on? Do they make it? But I mean, either way, for years to come, this is setting up to be, hey, pay attention. These guys can ball.
Absolutely. And actually, I'm not quite sure why this article didn't cover it, but there was actually another player that went to NSC that signed an AF1 contract. Dane Montgomery signed with Kentucky. He actually signed on the 6th, so just before the NSC took part. But I am willing to bet that he was on Kentucky's radar because of being on that NSC roster. So the NSC, I've posted about it on all of our social medias recently. I think it is an incredible opportunity for players, especially small school players that don't have a pro day at their school. You can go, you can participate in pro day events, you can get verifiable numbers in front of teams at the professional level from multiple leagues. We put out a post that Columbus was there from the AAL. There was multiple NAL teams there previous seasons, and then also the AF1, as we mentioned before. I know that also the UFL and the CFL keep an eye on that event as well. So it's a really good opportunity for players, and the partnership with the AF1 only continues to attract higher and higher talent to that event. And one thing I wanted to point out that I thought was interesting, specifically about the receiver that I mentioned before that signed with Michigan, Mizuguchi. Not only can he play wide receiver, but he actually has a long background of kicking. So could be a dual player there for Michigan, which adds a little bit depth at wide receiver, but also could be their kicker. So I personally think that's a smart move by Michigan. They also signed Giovanni Williams out of Miles College this past week. So interesting move for sure. Kentucky also signed Colt McCracken, who previously was signed with the Pueblo Punishers, which kind of an interesting move. I didn't think that he was necessarily a guy that Kentucky would look at. Krish, are you surprised to see that move?
I am surprised. He kind of strikes me as a semi-pro player, but I'm just being honest, but Pueblo, they look kind of desperate for offensive linemen, so I don't know why you would leave. But.
Fair point. I mean, the money must be quite a bit. Triple McGee adds this in. International player won't count as a roster spot either, which is a huge advantage, especially if he can play multiple positions. And he doesn't count against the roster. Like, you want to talk about playing some roster gymnastics that are really kind of beneficial for your team. That's a really good move. So thanks for throwing that out there, Triple McGee. Appreciate that. Any other topics that we did not cover that you guys want to get to?
No, I think we're getting to the point of, this is where teams are really building out their rosters. We got training camp coming up. The first training camp starts in about a month. And so Louisiana, I believe they start their training camp first week of February. So it'll be interesting to see. I see some of these NAL rosters. Some of these teams have 18, 19 guys signed. And it's like, I respect a team like Omaha because they seem really prepared. They have 34 guys signed last time I checked. So, it's important to be prepared heading into training camp. And I'm just really excited to see some of the moves. Like, Coach Toby was saying, I feel like, we have some really good talent coming in. So I'm looking forward to seeing the guys sign in Orlando.
Oceanside investigation? Anybody aware of that? I haven't heard anything about an investigation with Oceanside.
Well, I will say, there's a lot of concern. I mean, the two teams I hear the most about from people are Dallas and Oceanside, right? Dallas in the NAL and Oceanside in the AF1. Will those two teams play? And that's the biggest thing for me. It's like, the Oceanside, I mean, you saw the comments made by the San Diego Brass. They put Oceanside on blast, that they don't have a turf, they don't have walls, they don't have anything. So if any of that is true, then Oceanside won't play. I also heard, and again, this is not mind-breaking news, that the AF1, and I've heard this from multiple sources, the AF1 already had the schedule made without Oceanside on it as a cautionary measure. So, just stuff to keep an eye on. And Dallas, man, I mean, GM Shannon Rubin stepped down, so that's something that's interesting to keep an eye on. What's going on in Dallas? Why do they have so much turnover? Is this just a bad moon, or is this what's going on? So it's stuff to just keep an eye out on, for sure.
Gotcha. You're right. I did say that. I honestly, I did not have any time to look into that this week. I was busy with my day job primarily most of the week. So unfortunately, there was no time for that. And Texas Pete, we just covered the only AF1 news there was this week. There isn't really anything big. We're in the dregs of the off season at this point. So realistically, the biggest news that's going to be come out over the next couple of weeks is going to be, probably the announcements for the TAL for their team names, because, obviously they've got two more teams they need to announce. And, if there's anything in terms of dates for the IFL schedule, that's going to be a big announcement. And then, a couple other things that will be coming. But really, I mean, we're kind of at the point where we're rounding the corner to training camp. So a bunch of the news that we're going to be talking about is going to be transactional.
It's going to be ton. It's going to be coming. I expect a huge IFL transaction update within the next maybe 2 to 3 days. We should see a lot of signings that happen around the new year. AF1, same thing. They released a bunch of signings today. So it's just going to continue to, keep coming. And we'll see, all these signings and get inputted. Same with the NAL and the AL too. I know Wheeling is going to start. I heard that Wheeling is going to start putting together their roster within the next week. So we should see some minors being signed.
Yeah, I would agree on that. So there's going to be a lot of news coming out of the AAL as well, with them starting a little bit later. We should
and the UFL. That's another thing. Pay attention. I want everyone to pay attention to the UFL draft coming up, because especially with the Albany players, do those guys get protected? Do they make the roster? Do we see Casanova make a team or even get selected to a team? I look at it and I'm like, I don't know how he does. I look at the quarterbacks in college and who they got, and I've already counted enough guys where Casanova might not make it. And I've already been told by multiple sources that if he doesn't get picked up by the UFL, he's coming back to Albany. So that's a big thing to take a look on.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a foregone conclusion, I would imagine, but we'll see. Anyway, any final thoughts that you guys want to get to before we get out of here? I think we've pretty much covered everything.
That's it. Yeah, just go Pirates.
All right. On that note, we're going to go ahead.
This is a kind of an awesome time of the year because you got the playoffs, You have the college championship coming up, and right around the corner is official off-season to preseason change for arena and indoor. So it's a great time to be an overall football fan like us, I guess.
Who do you
Absolutely.
guys have in the playoffs? I see a Steelers hat and Eagles stuff.
Well, you know I'm rooting for the Eagles as always. I think
I'm
the
an honorary
Broncos.
Eagles fan.
I like the Broncos this year. They look really good. They're winning games gritty, you know. And I mean I'm not. I live in Colorado, but I'm not per se a Broncos fan. But
Who do you root for?
What's that?
Who do you root for?
I root for the Eagles.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I mean if they play the Eagles, I'm rooting for the Eagles. I'm rocking my Eagles gear in the.
All right, let's end the show with one question for all three of you. Who is the best? Give me one quarterback. Who's the best quarterback in every?
Why do
You
you
saying every
like
league?
doing these long form questions right when we're trying to end the show, man?
I think it's important that you all state your opinion because I don't want to hear midway through the season. Oh, Tyler Coke is the best.
Let's save this to start next week off with.
Demery Croft at every
think-
level.
I think that's a good point. Let's start that off for next week. So if
I'll give mine. I'll give mine. Okay, so NAL Paxton Lynch, Paxton Lynch, Tyler Coca, and
Bump him.
and for the IFL, I like Delore. So
All
All right, so everybody except Krish, fans included, let's suit up for next week. Get our list together and comment it below. How about that?
There you go. That's exactly what I was gonna say. So if you're watching the show right now, like TJ said, get your list together. We'll have them ready for what next week. That'll be the question of the week for next week. In fact,
I'm doing
I'll even write
kickers
it in the
instead.
doc. What's that?
I'm doing kickers instead.
Okay, sounds great.
Cool.
So we'll get Cody's kicker list. The rest of us will give quarterbacks. Krish will repeat his quarterbacks, and yeah. But anyway, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you all for hanging out with us for 2.5 hours every Saturday morning. We really appreciate all the support, all the comments. You guys are awesome. And then also stay tuned for the bus stop, which kicks off in an hour.
Yo, what's good? Cedric the bus driver here. I don't know about you guys, but I know what I will be doing every Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Thursday nights too. I'll be over at Shady Sports Network, so catch up with me. Holla at your boy.